Alright, so today, oh my god, I need to complain about my worst cinema experience that I've ever had. I wanted to go see Knives Out. There were a few screenings yesterday. Nothing really was on until after about 5 p.m. though, and it was really annoying. Because it was about 12 at the time where I decided I was going to go see it. Except for one. There was on at 1:30 and I'm like, sick, I'll go. And it was even at my local one, which you'd think would be real great and convenient and stuff, but no. My local cinema is one that I avoid as much as I can. They have screwed up before, routinely screw up. There's negligent staff. The place kind of smells kind of funny. And there are some real technical fuck-ups that have happened numerous times when I've been there. And now I just kind of sound like I'm your average, like, rich bitch mum asking to see the manager or some shit, you know. My name's Karen. Nice to meet you. I try and avoid going there, but the few times that I have gone there, they fucked up 2 out of 3 times. Honestly, they fuck up more often than they don't. Yeah, last time I went, they completely screwed up with the sound. The sound was cutting out for like minutes on end, numerous times throughout the movie. And we missed quite a few things. There was like this dramatic scene where the protagonist was answering the phone and then like she starts crying and she breaks down in tears and everything. And it was like, I guess meant to be a really touching or really tragic scene or something. I don't know, because I didn't know what happened. I'm like, I guess something bad happened. Yeah, anyway, it was annoying, but whatever, I dealt with it. But this thing that happened yesterday, I could not deal with. So, I went to go see Knives Out, and when I was watching it, I was like, wow, what the hell is going on? This is a real strange choice for Rian Johnson, the director, to have made. There was some really strange creative decisions within the visuals, because the cinematography, it didn't really look like any movie I'd seen before. I mean, the top of people's heads were like cut off, and there was kind of stuff that like, it just didn't look right. Things weren't really framed properly. Then I realized, of course, it's this fucking cinema. And once I realized that, I'm like, maybe I'm wrong though. Like, I start to doubt myself. I'm like, maybe it's not a screw up. Maybe it's supposed to look like this. They were going for some creative kind of visuals here. And I'm like, well, maybe it's on purpose. But throughout, I just kept sinking deeper and deeper into being like, no, this is clearly wrong. Like, we're missing details here. People's heads were like chopped off, like from the forehead on. You couldn't see the top of anybody's heads if it was like a close-up shot. If it was a mid-range shot, depending on where the characters were kind of standing, you could see them okay, but if there's somebody in the background, they might have their mouth chopped off or their head chopped off, depending on, you know, whereabouts they are. Yeah, things were not quite in frame, and it was an obvious fuck up. There was this one scene where a character was holding some piece of paper and is holding it like to the screen, but like some of it's like cut off here, like on the side, and it's like, well, I mean, we were supposed to see that, right? What basically ended up finally confirming to me that it was definitely wrong was there was this one scene with Daniel Craig where he was saying something dramatic or whatever, and his eyes were cut off. Like, you could only see this. His eyes were literally cut off as he was speaking. And it's like, no, that's fucking wrong. And just as an example, I'll put up some graphics to show you kind of what I meant. So this first one here is, well, you're supposed to see, you know, you can see things beside Daniel Craig, you can see the top of his head. What a blessing, because this is what we ended up seeing, okay? You can't see the top of his head, you can't see the sides to him, you can't see many details. You're missing a lot of that picture there. And I have some theories about what happened. I'll get into why, but first I just need to finish what actually happened. So we went and said something. We were going to go complain. We were like, I think this is wrong. It kind of looks like it's maybe zoomed in or something. Like, it looks wrong. I don't know. And of course, then the girl at the counter was like, oh, I don't know. So she got her supervisor or whoever it was. So that's all good. I have nothing against this girl working at the counter. She didn't know. That's fine. But this other woman, who I guess was the supervisor or whoever, came and she was like, well, that's strange. I mean, we're a professional business around here. It shouldn't be like that. I'll go check for you. And she went and she checked. And she kind of like, we're standing there for like 5 minutes, like awkwardly, because it's like, ugh, I'm kind of embarrassed. I don't like confrontation at all. I'm just like, ugh, should I just leave? Is this even worth it? But we stayed. And 5 minutes later, she comes and she's like, huh, what? Nothing's wrong with it. What are you talking about, you fucking dickhead? Shouldn't say that last part. I made that up. But she did say that there was nothing wrong with it. And we're like, are you sure? Because there was something clearly wrong with it. It was so bad that, like, if it was a close-up shot, it's like their face was the only thing on the screen. It filled the entire screen. And it's like, no, that's not what movies look like. I've watched enough movies to know that's not what movies look like. I know that. So my wife, I was about to give up, but my wife was like, can we go look in with you? Like, we'll show you, because we're the experts here, I guess. So we went and we looked at it, and instantly, as soon as I walk in, I'm like, look at that guy's fucking forehead. Can you see it? No, you can't, because it's cut off, because it's wrong. And she looks at it and she's like, no, it looks fine. It looks fine to me. It looks right. Yeah, people's heads are supposed to be cut off, I guess. She turns around and she's like, yeah, it's scope formatting, so it's right. And of course, we're like, scope formatting. I don't know what the fuck scope formatting is. I feel like I felt like this was just something that she was told to tell people if they ever had a problem. It's like, oh yeah, just use your fancy terms, scope formatting. Like everybody knows what that is. Come on. The effing man doesn't know what the hell you're talking about. Or my other theory is she genuinely didn't know. Because if you go in and look from the screen, it took me half an hour to confirm that it was definitely wrong. I wasn't sure for a while. She looked at it for like 2 seconds and she was like, yeah, it's fine. And I'm like, you're not seeing what I'm seeing. You're looking at it for 2 seconds. You can't see that it was wrong. I didn't want somebody to go see what I was seeing. I wanted somebody to go behind the projector and confirm that like the settings were right or whatever. But because, you know, the fact that everything's digital and stuff, there's no like professional projectionists anymore. It's not all like made. It's just like automated to play. And that's basically all they do anymore. As of my understanding anyway. I'm not like a super professional expert on, you know, projectionist stuff. But I do know everything's digital. And I do know that this screening that we saw was incorrect. So she was like, no, it's fine. So just go back to your movie now. And we're like, well, no. We've missed 10 minutes complaining to you, for one. And I couldn't pay attention to the first half an hour because I'm watching every shot, trying to analyze each shot, being like, is this right? Is this wrong? No, it's wrong. It's wrong, right? Like, it's gotta be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's wrong. So I'm just like sitting there being annoyed, like, oh, no, that's wrong. Oh my God, come on, this is wrong. Right? It's wrong. It was way too distracting. So yeah, I'd missed 40 minutes of the movie, and you got to think about the context too. This wasn't just like a stupid Adam Sandler comedy or something. This is a murder mystery type of thing. Oh, wait. No. Where it's like you learn vital information every second scene. If I'm missing these minute details, how am I going to enjoy it? I'm not, is the answer. So, of course, we're like, can we get a refund actually? Like, I don't really, this is kind of screwed up. Like, he's not really getting back into this now. She's like, it's been half an hour. I don't think we can. That's exactly how she said it. And we're like, well, are you kidding me? And she's like, there's nothing I can do, whatever. So we gave up and we left. My wife emailed them later. We're still waiting on a response for that, of course. I doubt we're even going to get one, to be honest, because these are negligent people. Okay, I don't want to be rude. I'm not naming and shaming or anything. I feel like I probably shouldn't because, I don't know, I don't want to be sued. Is that a thing that's going to happen? Not that I get views anyway. I'm not really going to be ruining this business, but still, defamation is a thing that exists and I just don't want to get in trouble. So I have some theories about exactly what happened. I looked up basically what she was saying, this scope formatting thing that she was going on about. And basically scope formatting is an aspect ratio. And most movies are shown in this. And the other thing, there are two formats that most movies are shown in cinemas. It's the scope one and it's the flat formatting. Basically, the flat formatting is a little bit less wide. It's kind of more tight in. It's more of a box look. The flat is 1.85 by 1, meaning it's nearly 2 times as wide as it is tall. Like it's wider than it is tall. That red one is the 1.85. That's flat. And the scope formatting is 2.35 times as wide as it is tall. And basically, movies can be shot in both of these and movies can be shown in both of these. So a filmmaker can purposefully make something in the scope or flat. Mostly nowadays, things are shot in this scope format. A lot of your action movies and stuff, most things that you're going to go see in cinemas are in this scope formatting. An example of a flat formatting, weirdly enough, is The Avengers. If you look at that movie, you can kind of see that it's got kind of more of a boxy look. It's a bit more of a square. And you can identify this by telling whether the black bars are at the top and bottom of your screen. If they are, then it's the scope setting. If they're not, then it's the flat setting. Okay, and most things when you're watching on your TV or whatever do have those black bars because they were shot in scope, but if you're looking at it on your TV, you're watching it on a flat screen. And the few movies that are shot in this flat formatting are movies that less people go see. These are like your dramas, your comedies or whatever. They're not your Marvel movies and stuff like that, except for the Avengers. Most stuff like that, like most comedies and stuff, don't get as many, viewers, obviously, as your blockbusters. And it's a little more common for your dramas and smaller movies to be shot in this flat formatting, but most movies really are shot in the scope. So I'm assuming assuming that the cinema just left every screen on scope and always does that and just leaves it and that's it. They don't check, they don't change it ever. And what I think happened was that the staff didn't look, didn't care, didn't notice that this movie was shot in flat formatting. So Knives Out was shot in flat, but it was shown to us in scope, which obviously is different and does not match. And so automatically there's probably some automated thing where the film just fits the screen however it can. So I think what ended up happening was that the film actually zoomed right in so that it could fit the wider length of the scope screen, resulting in the top and bottom being majorly cut off. And you're missing good portions of the picture, good portions of the visuals are gone. You're missing things on the side, mostly on the top and bottom though. And so if there are things on the screen that you are supposed to see, in a murder mystery, there might be clues and stuff everywhere and like a lot of shots, you're probably going to be missing them. Nothing was in the frame properly. You couldn't watch it. It was unwatchable this way. So what they were supposed to do was just have the curtains close and have the screen be a bit smaller to fit the actual film. This is what you're supposed to do. This is what we should have seen. This is regular shit that cinemas are supposed to know. I mean, this is an amateur fucking mistake, and that's what's so frustrating about it. Like, I'm no expert on this at all, but I don't work in a cinema. You know what I mean? If I did, I'm sure it's pretty vital to know this stuff. Pretty much, it was pathetic. The screening was pathetic. The fact that they couldn't even detect or identify that there was an issue at all to begin with, or they were lying, whichever one it was, is fucking pathetic. But according to the cinema, there was nothing wrong with it. Until just now, literally, while I was filming this, I got an email from my wife. Oh, really? My wife has literally just now while I'm recording this sent me something, an email back from the cinema saying that, yep, we fucked up. What? Oh. So they've realized that they fucked up. Thank you for your email, blah, blah, blah. After the session was finished, we ran a diagnostic and the projector had an error, blah, blah, blah. And we want to apologize. This is 100% our fault due to an error in the projector. We didn't pick up on it in that cinema for the day. Of course. And this is exactly what I thought. And this is what I was trying to tell them. But the fact that they fucking told me that there was nothing wrong with it is infuriating. People make mistakes. That's fine. That's fine. But I asked, we went and complained, told them that it was wrong, and were told that it was fine, and we were wrong. That's bullshit. We have spoken to the supervisor on duty yesterday that you dealt with, and we have given her a refresher course on how to handle these situations. I feel a bit bad. I feel a bit bad about that. Anyway, victory, I guess. We win! Woo! Woo, woo, woo! It's exciting. We win. Yay. We're going to get a refund. I hope we don't have to go in person. Hi. We got the refund. But really, I wanted to make this video though to talk to you about if you go to a cinema and you think it looks wrong, it might be, okay? Be more confident than I was. Be like, if their heads are a little bit cut off or something like that, don't just be like, oh, that's maybe just how the movie is. If it's like a mainstream movie, Hollywood production type of stuff, millions of dollars being put in it, they're not going to shoot it like that. That's just not what they do. There are rules. There are golden rules in filmmaking and photography, and you just don't shoot stuff like that. And I know this, and I knew this, and I'd still doubted myself. Don't just doubt yourself like I did, because I wasn't sure for quite a while, and I'm like, I'm going to look like an idiot if I go speak up, and hopefully they fix it. The most frustrating part about this is the fact that they told us we were wrong, and the fact that this is apparently, in my research, I've seen that this is not that uncommon. This is not that uncommon an issue. The different formatting stuff don't match, and people aren't fixing it. You're supposed to format the screen for the film that you're showing. I mean, that seems like Cinema 101. That seems like a pretty amateurish mistake to make if you get it wrong. And yeah, I just think that it's for shit. Like, I'm not a professional about any of this. I wasn't sure about any of this. I had to look up what scope formatting was. But, I mean, it seems like pretty obvious stuff if this is, your business. You should be on this. You should be on top of this shit. But if more cinemas keep doing this though, that's what's frustrating, because it's like you're giving more reason for people to not go to the movies anymore. Because if the movies that you're watching look better on your own TV than it does in cinemas because they've fucked up, it's going to discourage people to go. And that's scary, because cinema goers are already a dying breed, which scares me because it's my favorite thing in the world to do. And all that these people at cinemas doing a bad job like this are going to be discouraging more people from going to the cinemas. And if you want to look at it this way, you're going to lose business yourself. So it's really a dumb thing to not pay attention to. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of bitch and moan for a bit, so I guess that's what I did. And yeah, I'm not going to name and shame. I feel like I probably shouldn't. I feel like that's probably wrong, and now that I got this email, I won't, but I almost did, you know? Anyway, if you have your own examples of this happening, I'd be really curious to hear about it, because like I want to hear about this. I want to know if it does happen quite that often. I would like to know if people notice it. I'm kind of really interested in this issue, actually. Anyway, that's all I had to say. Do a better job, cinemas, please. Because now I still haven't seen Knives Out. That's annoying too. Like now, I was really excited for it as well. This could have been a review for Knives Out that you were watching right now, but instead it's this. So there you go, cinemas. I've exposed you!